Now it is my pleasure, it is my honor, frankly, to introduce someone who's come in to bring even more energy to the cause and give more flight to our wings. I want to introduce Toni, the National President of National Organization of Women, who is here in Providence. We welcome her. So everyone here, please keep up the fight. Let's continue the advocacy and let's get it done this year in 2019. And come to PBD Fest.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
That's my pleasure. I just want to start out by saying thank you to everybody that's here, everybody that was up in the Capitol today, all of the legislators, and all of the activists and the advocates that are here, and especially thank you to all of the Rhode Island NOW members and to the executive board and to our awesome president, Hillary. So I did this speech. It was supposed to be like a rally speech when we were up on the steps, and then it didn't work out that way. So I do want to. If you just give me 1 minute, I do want to tell you, read one part of the speech to you that I think is really important. Okay. So. All of the laws and the restrictions that have been passed right now are, as you all know, about power and not about health. So the fetal heartbeat bills, the waiting periods, informed consent requirements, bans on public funding, insurance prohibitions, unnecessary clinic regulations, they're not designed to protect women. Instead, they're designed to deter women from choosing abortion and to make it more difficult and burdensome for them to do so. They place an undue burden on women. And whenever you're talking about this, I really would like you to lift up undue burden on women, because we are not hearing that, and that's what this is all about. So if they want to criminalize a doctor, that's an undue burden on a woman and her right and her access to abortion. During the Alabama floor debate, Democratic State Senator Vivian Davis interrupted a Republican colleague who was defending the morality of not allowing abortion for pregnancies caused by rape or incest. That is not your business, she said. And by golly, that is right. It is nobody's business. You don't have to raise a child, she continued. You don't have to carry a child to term. You don't have to provide for that child. You don't have to do anything for that child. But yet you want to make that decision for that woman, that that's what she has to do. Speaking truth to power has always been at the heart of everything that we do at NOW. And it is what you all have been doing here today. NOW's mission has always included the determination to work towards building a culture that values women as equals. The PBS documentary series, The 60s, quoted a NOW activist saying, if it was a feeling of power, that if there's a sisterhood, that we all want to change society, that we can do it. And we can do it. We have done it, and we're doing it now. And you all are doing it here today. When we take action, we win. And the distinct brand of feminist activism we share has never been needed more. The Trump administration has given a blank check to the religious right to enact a fundamentalist version of government that is straight out of The Handmaid's Tale. Led by a president who openly brags about sexual assault that gives support to a culture that degrades, harms, and shames women. They are also creating serious, entirely preventable threats to women's health. The United States has the highest maternity death rates among developed countries, and they continue to rise. This is a direct result of the religious right's success in restricting access to health care. If a woman doesn't have access to a complete range of affordable, accessible health care services, the maternal death rate goes up and the infant death rate rises. And be aware, and please lift up the fact that the Catholic healthcare system is taking over in our entire country. It is a they're doing it under the radar. They know what they're doing is wrong. They have the Catholic's directives, the bishop's directives that come directly from DC. They make all the doctors, the medical offices that they're taking over, and the hospitals sign on that they will follow the bishop's directives. Not only do they refuse abortion care, they refuse to provide emergency contraception, birth control, and end-of-life wishes. This is really important. In my community in Pinellas County, Florida, they have taken over, maybe we have 3 secular hospitals left in our whole county, and they don't change their names anymore. So Morton Plant Hospital, that has been there my whole lifetime, that was a secular hospital, is now has been taken over by the Catholics. And they call it a consortium. The reason that they buy into it is for the bottom line, that they can buy everything together. But with people, sometimes I give this talk, I tell people about this, and they yell out that I'm lying. They just don't believe me. So it's really important.
I know for a fact you are not lying.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
true.
It is true.
Thank you.
So Donald Trump has filled his administration with the most extreme religious conservatives to ever reach the highest levels of government. First, he picked Pence as vice president, a man who introduces himself as a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order. Trump is now packing the courts with anti-abortion judges who could serve for decades. These include unsafe for any democracy judges like Wendy Bitter of Louisiana, who promoted the junk science theory that abortion is linked to breast cancer and oral contraceptions can cause women to be assaulted and murdered. This woman has been recently appointed a judge. Bittner once spoke at an anti-Planned Parenthood rally and accused the group of killing over 150,000 females in a year. Donald Trump has stacked his administration with anti-abortion activists. His deputy general counsel at the Department of Health and Human Services, Matthew Baumann, once wrote that employers who provide contraceptive coverage kill embryos and bow to the altar of fruitless intercourse. What the fuck does that mean? We're like women are not entitled to enjoy sex. Anyway, this is true. This man is right now leading this department. He subscribes to the Blackstone Legal Fellowship, a radical fundamentalist Christian group that seeks to recover the robust Christian Dhammic theocracy of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th centuries. Roger Severino, Trump's director of the Office for Civil Rights, has referred to contraception as abortion-inducing drugs and devices. And Scott Lloyd, who has declared mission accomplished for his extremist agenda and is in his last days as the head of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, has equated abortion with the Holocaust. Lloyd has argued that women who aren't willing or able to give birth should abstain from sex. He says, if a woman needs to defend so fiercely the one thing that they can call their own, their body, then they shouldn't be so careless with it as to have sex when they are not ready to be pregnant. Needless to say, he doesn't expect men to abstain from sexual intercourse or masturbation. I mean, really. Don't we think that every sperm deserves a name? Aren't they killing off babies when they masturbate? How do we resist this rising tide of extremism? How do we protect reproductive freedom and enshrine women's rights to bodily autonomy, health care, and happiness? The answer is all around us here today. It's what you're doing, why you're rallying here today, and how you will ensure that Rhode Island lawmakers hear your voices and represent your constitutional rights. Don't let up the pressure and don't be discouraged by setbacks along the way. I know what successful transformative activism looks like, and I see that here today. I see victory. I see history being made. When you succeed, in passing this critical legislation, you will show the nation that Rhode Island's call to let it out can rise above the din of anti-abortion extremism and misogyny. I raise my voice with you today. We will not be ignored, we will not be denied, and we will not fail. Thank you.
A few other people to acknowledge. We have our General Treasurer, Seth Magaziner. Thank you. We have Senator Bridget Valverde, who I saw before. I think that's everyone. So I also want to thank Public Kitchen and Bar for giving us this space tonight, because this was donated this evening. And then finally, if you are not a member of NOW, you can sign up today, right there. Becoming a member of either Rhode Island NOW or the national chapter makes you a member of both. And then we also encourage you, if you feel so inclined and you're unhappy now with anyone who's in this room, but anyone else, that you can donate to the Rhode Island NOW PAC to change who's in power or to keep the good people in power. So